Okay. I know there are still people coming in, so I'm going to keep doing that. Okay. If you've been here before, you will notice that I'm not in the same space. In fact, I'm not in the same country right now. I'm in Italy right now. My partner is Italian, and when the borders started to open up, he really wanted to see his family. So we have driven down to Italy over the last few days as carefully as we could. Even still, we are self-quarantining, not at his parents' home, just because his dad is an at-risk person. So we're going to give ourselves a couple weeks before we go there. The reason I say all of this is because I found an Airbnb with Wi-Fi, and the Wi-Fi is rubbish. So I am actually using my phone as a hotspot right now. I've taught one class so far and it held up. It went a little, it did the, Zoom says the thing where it says your internet connection is unstable. It did that twice, but just for a few seconds. So fingers crossed, because I don't know how it works with Zoom, if because there's more of you, if it has, I assume it needs a little more to host it, but again, fingers crossed. Yeah. So yes. So technology is amazing. The fact that the 4G is currently holding up the hotspot on my laptop so that we can do this. I see some people are still coming in, so I'm just going to stay here for another minute. Oh, I don't know what I just did. It said the host spotlighted your video. If I've done something weird to anyone, I'm sorry. If you're new to this, just a reminder that if you go to the top right corner of your screen, it says gallery view or speaker view. If you put it on speaker view, you should be able to see me. If you put it on gallery view, you'll see lots of little cards of people's names. Everyone is on mute. I think today it's better if everyone's video is off. If you sometimes like having your video on, it's probably better if it's off, because I do know that sometimes that seems to cause it to lag, even when there's a good connection. Not very often, but I think it's probably just better today because this is a bizarre circumstance. Yeah. Okay. Let's start. One last thing to say. At some point, again, as I mentioned, I'm in an Airbnb in Italy for any of you that came in after I said that. And it's just sort of a studio flat. And my partner is a musician and he has a guitar lesson. So he's gonna have to run in about 15 minutes, 20 minutes and get his guitar. So you'll just see him kind of wandering in and out, but hopefully that's okay. I told him he had to wait until after the meditation and breathing, and only then could he get it. Okay. Yeah. So we're going to start, as always, with the centering and breathing, and then we're going to move into our warm-ups. And as always, this is a gentle session, okay? And I just really want to invite you to be kind to yourself and to practice with a sense of not just kindness, but that sense of compassion and also gratitude. Gratitude for anything and everything. And, you know, if you're having a really bad day and you struggle to practice gratitude, that's okay too. That happens. So just allowing things to be, practicing gratitude where you can, when you can, that's all we can do, really. I have no recollection of what we did last week because I feel like I'm in different, well, I am in a different country, but like, it's just like that journey is, yeah, anyway. So I'm just gonna do something and hope it's not a repeat of last week. So some people coming in. Last thing to say, oh, I have no idea what I was just gonna say. It's gone. Okay, so we're going to start with that centering and breathing. Please feel free to use any props you have available to you. They don't have to be yoga props. They can be cushions that you grab from your couch. They can be books that you use for blocks. So feel free to do that. I do remember what I was going to say. So I am recording this video today in the hope that we can upload it onto a site where people can access it, because I know there are a few people that want to be doing these sessions that can't do it at this time right now. If you are going to go back to work soon and this time doesn't work for you, message the clinic, message the partnership, and tell them if you need a slightly later class. Because I don't think we'll be going back to in-person classes anytime soon, but just let them know. And hopefully then, if you want to revisit any of these sessions, hopefully they will be available in some kind of database for you. The reason I say that, so you can't see who's here on the gallery view. However, if at any point you unmute yourself and start speaking and asking a question, that will be recorded, because it can't not be. So just be aware, okay? Cool, I think that's, I always talk too much. Okay, so yeah, so let's start with that centering and breathing exercise. And I'll do the best I can because I know it's a backlight, so sometimes that makes it dark. But I'll just do the best I can to adjust in the space that we've got. Okay. So the first thing that, oh, I'm getting a message. Yes. Okay. So I just had a message asking if this class is okay to do during treatments. Yes. So yes, you're welcome. So we avoid in this class twists. We avoid core work. This is not power yoga. It's gentle, relaxing yoga. Bearing this in mind that some of you are going back into treatment phases. Okay. Let's start. Okay, so it's up to you. You can either sit up nice and tall, or you can lie down on your back. It really is what you prefer. Okay. And if you're lying on your back, you always have the option also of bending your knees, placing your feet on the floor, rather than extending the legs out. It just depends again on your back and how you're feeling. Okay. I'm hearing lots of Italians outside, so I'm going to shut that as well and hopefully that microphone won't pick it up. Okay. What I'd like you to do to start, whether you are lying down or sitting up, let's take a few rolls of the shoulders. So inhale, roll the shoulders up, and exhale them down and back. Do that a few times. Inhale, roll the shoulders up. Exhale them back. And again. And just relax the shoulders down. Close the eyes. And take a few deep inhales through the nose. With exhales, sighing or blowing the air out of the mouth. And just do that as many times as you need. Inhaling calm. Exhaling, sighing out, letting go of any stress or any tension. And as always, any external sounds that you notice, whether they come from my end or from yours, see if you can just allow them to become vibration, just part of the present moment, in this life, in this body, able to hear things, able to sense things. And then let's play off of that a little bit. So right now, see what you can notice as far as sounds. So sounds beyond the room in which you are. So maybe that sounds from outside, birds, weather, voices. And again, become aware of all of those sounds, whatever they might be, beyond your room, beyond the space. And just start to let, again, all of those sounds become vibration, just part of the now. And then take the awareness and bring it into the room where you find yourself, and notice any sounds within that room. So if you've put music on, if you can hear other voices or sounds in the room, ticking clocks, just notice anything that you can notice. And take the awareness and check in with your own body. What are the vibrations of your body? Can you sense your heartbeat? Maybe if you're hungry, you have a growling tummy. What can you notice about the vibrational quality of your physical body? And then also, what can you notice about the vibrational quality of your energy? What energy are you emitting right now? I think sometimes we can underestimate how we energetically interact with each other. So just become aware. And again, avoid judging whatever you find. If you're in a bad mood, if you're in a joyful mood, you're pretty blasé about everything right now, just notice what is. And then take the awareness and bring it back to your breath when you're ready. Inhale through the nose. Take the breath down into the belly. so that the belly rises with the inhale. Exhale out the nose and feel the belly roll back toward the spine. Inhale, belly rises. Exhale, belly falls. So you're using the diaphragm to breathe. And then deepen the breath further. Inhale through the nose, fill up, belly, ribs, chest, expanding all the way up through the inhale. Exhale out the nose, chest, ribs, and belly contract. So you're coming into a Dirga breath. So this is that basic breath in pranayama or yogic breathing. So for those of you new to this, again, we inhale through the nose, fill up, belly, ribs, chest. Exhale, release, chest, ribs, and belly. And then for anyone familiar, you could try coming into an ujjayi or an ocean wave sounding breath by constricting in the back of the throat in the epiglottis. It's a bit like you're inhaling and exhaling the word home through the nose to create this audible ocean wave sound. If you're not familiar or you're not comfortable yet with the ujjayi breath, that's just fine. Stay with the Dirga breath. Let's take between 5 and 10 rounds of deep breath here. And see if you can let this just be a meditation. So breathing deeply, physiologically calming the body. And just be with your breath. What is it to be with your breath in this moment? If at any point your mind wanders, just gently acknowledge the thoughts and then return to the breath. Take a few more deep breaths here. And start to mentally ready yourself for movement again. And just draw some movement back into your body, letting yourself stretch, roll around, yawn, sigh, just anything that you need. Okay, I'm just trying to make the light as helpful as possible. So I don't know, but okay. Bear with me today, please. Okay, so let's bring ourselves back up to seated. So if you're down on your back, come back up to seated, and we're going to do our warm-ups in seated today, which I know we've done a few times in the past weeks, so some of these moves will already be familiar for some of you. Okay, so let's take an inhale, lift through the arms, and then exhale, release the arms down. And again, inhale, lift, and exhale, down. And then inhale, lift, and interlace your fingers, and then turn up through the palms, stretching and opening up the shoulders. And turn the knuckles back to neutral. Take the palms to the back of the head. So we're going to do that stretch for the back of the neck. So inhale here, sitting up as tall as you can. If in any way you struggle to sit here, just sit up on a block or a cushion. And then inhale, lifting up tall through the spine. Exhale, tuck the chin in toward your chest. Let your elbows fall down from the sides of your head. Take an inhale here. And then exhale, turn to peek under your left armpit. So you're just checking out what's happening. Very subtle turn. Checking out what's happening slightly behind you. And then inhale back through center. And exhale over to the other side. Let's do once more to each side. Inhale, center. Exhale to the left. Inhale, center. And exhale, right. And then inhale, center, lift the head, lift the heart. And now I want you to take your left hand and bring your hand down toward your spine so that that left elbow is tipping up. Take your right hand for a moment to the left elbow, and it's just a very gentle pull across, very, very gentle, okay? And then keep that left arm where it is. Release your right hand, take it down to the ground at the right side. And I want you to lean sideways, bend the elbow. I love this stretch. I hope you do too. So we're opening up laterally through the side of the body. Inhale, lift back up through center. And then we take the right hand toward the spine. Left hand coming to the right elbow. Very, very gentle pull across. So we're just saying hi to the triceps there. Keep breathing through. Okay, and then we release that left hand, take it down, and just take a slight bend of that left elbow as you lean sideways. We're not twisting, okay? It's just a side lean. And inhale, lift all the way back up through center. Reach both hands up into the sky. And then gently bow down, hinging forward from your hips. Take the hands into the heart. Inhale, lift up. And exhale, bow. And take a few like this. One more. Okay. take the hands to the knees, and we'll just take a few seated cat-cow. So we inhale, take the heart forward, roll the shoulders back. Exhale, tuck the chin in toward your chest and round back. And again, inhale, heart forward, shoulders back. Exhale, round it back. One more. Okay, take it forward now, and then we're going to take it around the world. So I want you to roll it around the back, over to the side, and just keep rolling around and around like you're scooping out a jar with your torso. And you can make these as deep or as light as you prefer. And then go the other way. Okay. One more. And then take it all the way back toward seated. Okay. Now, from here, all I want you to do is extend the legs out in front of you. And then there's a very silly trick here, but it's effective. So I want you to take the beautiful abundance of your bottom. Yeah, I said it. And I want you to very gently pull it out to one side so that you can rock down onto that sits bone. You should be able to sort of feel it there. Okay, and we'll do the same to the other side. So we're grounding through the sits bones. Now, if you feel like you're being drawn back here, that your hip flexors are super unhappy about this, or your back is super unhappy about this, sit on something. You can fold up a blanket, you can put a thin cushion under you. So just, again, listen to your body. I wouldn't sit up too tall. I wouldn't put, that under you, but just something to help lift you, and then that can feel quite a bit better. Okay. Otherwise, if you're cool here, stay here. Okay, flex the feet out in front of you. Take an inhale, lift through the arms, and then exhale. I want you to sink your shoulders. So you're sending your heart forward. So see if you can avoid the lean back. It's really, the body sort of naturally tries to do that. I want you to send the heart forward. So you really feel the spine elongating here. And we lift up through the arms, receiving, well, I don't know if it's beautiful in the UK right now, but receiving this evening, we're here, so it's beautiful. And we're going to take an inhale. And then exhale, hinge forward from the hips, reach the arms out like you want to give a hug. Keep the feet flexed. I think we did this a few weeks back, maybe 3 weeks ago we did this. So we're actually going to work on opening the shoulders here. So first we lean forward into that hug. So everyone's hugging everyone right now. And then I want you to lift slightly up, but keep the heart pushing forward. And you should really feel that in the shoulders. It's amazing for all those little muscles, not little, but all the muscles sort of around under the shoulder blade. And we breathe. Okay. Take it out to a T. Inhale here. And then exhale, we're just going to rotate to the right. So that left arm's coming forward, right arm is coming back, nothing too drastic. Inhale, center, and exhale over to the other side. And then inhale, center, swing up through the arms, sink the shoulders, send the heart forward, flex the feet, inhale. Exhale, hinge forward again, giving that hug, and really, really reach out. Okay? And then once more, we take it up ever so slightly, so you feel that around the shoulders. Connect deeply into the breath. Okay, start to release the arms down now. And I want you to take your fingertips either side of the knees, roll the shoulders back, send the heart forward. So we're coming into a variation on Paschimottanasana on a seated forward fold. If this is enough, stay here. If you want to take it further, taking the head down to the knee, you're going to elongate the spine and then exhale, start to walk it down. You can hold on to your feet or to your ankles, but not as devices of torture, okay? I want you to only use them as anchors and nothing more. So you listen to your body. You go to the point that your body is happy to go and no further, okay? So we take a few breaths here. Okay. Inhale, lift the head, lift the heart. And as you come up, I want you to take your right foot with you. Place the right foot, and if you need to adjust your sits bones again, do so. Take your right foot, place it against the inside of that left thigh, okay? Now, from here, we're going, oh, someone has been kicked out that wants to come back. Hold on. It's the only annoying thing about the password system, isn't it? Like I don't know how to do it any other way though. Okay. So now with that leg out in front of you, that left leg, I want you to just take your fingertips either side of that leg, flex that foot, and then we roll the shoulders back. Same idea as what we just did. Take an inhale here, and then exhale. We hinge forward, keep the foot flexed, heart pressing toward the front of the foot. And then if it's available to you, you take your head down toward your knee or your chin down toward your shin. We're just going to take 2 or 3 breaths here. Okay. Lift the head, lift the heart. And then draw that left foot back with you. Ground however you need through the sits bones. Soles of the feet are coming together. And again, we're just keeping things gentle. This is just time to chill and stretch. So we've got the heels in toward the groin. And we're going to interlace the fingers over the toes. And actually, I'm going to interrupt myself. For anyone that thinks this is not gentle and you think, oh God, this isn't gentle, it's okay. That's also normal. Sometimes these stretches, they're very intense, especially if you've been stressed. So don't take it as a judgment if you don't feel it's gentle. Okay, so let's inhale, take the heart forward, roll the shoulders back and elongate the spine. So we're tractioning up through the spine, should feel really nice. Inhale, and then exhale, gently hinge forward from the hips, and bow down, rounding down through the spine, only if that feels okay to your back to round down. Okay, inhale, lift the head, lift the heart. And before we do the other side, we're actually going to do a little hip opener while we're here. I mean, that also was a hip opener, but another one. So what I would like you to do is for a moment, just take your right leg out and just momentarily ignore your right leg. And then you're going to, come on in, Anto. And then you're going to take your left leg, and I want you to, oh God. Sorry. Okay. Un momento. Okay. So now you're going to take that left shin, and you're going
I think we're having wine later. Sounds like it. Okay, take the left shin, place it out so that your shin is parallel to the front edge of your mat. So rather than have the heel in toward your groin with that leg slightly bent, I just, as best you can, shin is parallel to the front, okay? Now, if it's available to you, if you are going to take the right foot and stack it on top of the left. So that right foot is in that left crease around the knee, around the leg. However, some people, this will feel like you're going to die. It might hurt your hip. If it hurts your knee, definitely avoid anything that hurts the knee. So if when you put this up, it's like it's sort of up here or it's just not even going there at all, swing it underneath, okay? So for those of you that have it on top, there should be more of a gap, more of a triangular gap than say if you were sitting with the legs crossed normally. Okay, now from here, we're going to roll the shoulders back, sit up tall. Already, you might be feeling a stretch around that right hip. I am. So again, you might already be feeling that. Now, taking it a little bit further, walk the hands forward. But again, if at any point anything hurts your knee, take it back up to a point where it doesn't hurt your knee. Okay? Now, if this is enough, just this lean forward, cool. If you want to take it further, you can walk it down and potentially stack your fists and let your forehead rest on stacked fists. And just breathe into that hip opener. Hips are tough. So, I mean, they're tough as far as they need our love and they need some stretching a lot of the time. So. Okay. Lift the head, lift the heart. And then we're going to simply swap. So nothing fancy in between. That right shin is coming out in front. Should feel nice on that hip. So that right shin is coming out in front. And then we place the left foot on top, letting that foot be near that knee crease. And again, if this feels like too much, just slide that leg underneath and sit up tall with the legs crossed. Okay? Roll the shoulders back. Nice proud seated position. And then we hinge forward, coming down. Saying hi to that left hip. And then if you want to take it further, you can stack the fist, forehead down. Or you can even just come down onto the forearms if you can't quite reach with the stacked fists. And just keep breathing into that for a few more moments. And just to say, I don't think I've said it in these sessions yet, just to say, anytime you're opening the hips, if your knee hurts, always take it back to the point where your knee doesn't hurt. Because when we open the hips, if the hips aren't able to take the stretch that we're doing, the knee will overcompensate for it, which is a pretty big no-no. We don't want the precious knees to overcompensate when we're stretching the hips. So take another breath here. And then lift the head, lift the heart. And you're going to unwind. Take that right leg out in front of you now. Place your left foot into your right thigh. And we flex that foot. Okay. Fingertips coming either side of that right leg. Send the heart forward toward the foot. Heart loves the foot. And then exhale. If it feels okay to you, you can take it down into that head to knee or chin to shin. head, lift the heart. Now, we're going to take it out into another hip opener. You might end up needing to rotate your screen. Just, you know, we'll deal with the technology as it comes. So what I would like you to do is you are going to, and if this transition is confusing, that's okay, we're just playing. Okay, what I would like you to do is I want you to take your hands out in front of that left knee, and then you're going to lift up. So you're coming up onto that knee, and then you are going to walk yourself to the inside of that leg as you swing your right leg back behind you. And if that was super confusing, don't worry. If that was confusing, I swear I just heard someone say, what? If that was confusing, don't worry. What I want you to do is you've got your hands out in front of you in a shoulder distance stance. I'm just gonna move my mat slightly because it's a tile floor here. So hands out in front of you at a shoulder distance stance. Take your left knee to your left wrist. Left knee to your left wrist. And then toe your right leg back as far back as it will go. I'm going to turn on the side so that you can see this. Okay, so we've got left knee to the left wrist, left toes toed toward the right wrist, and then we toe that right leg back as far as it will go. Okay, now we're going to come into, this is the start of pigeon pose. With pigeon, I want you to think about keeping your spine totally straight. It's very easy to fall into one side or the other. So take the hands out in front of you, shoulder distance stance, roll the shoulders back, elongate the spine. If this is enough, because this can be a lot on the hip, let it be here. If you want to play with taking this further, you're going to pull up through your core, engaging with your back, and come up onto your little pigeon paws, pigeon claws. So you come up onto your fingertips. Breathe. We're going to do one more pose here, which is a resting pigeon, which sounds much more pleasant than it probably is. So what you're going to do now is you're going to walk forward, come down onto your forearms, and either stack your fist, resting your forehead on stacked fist, stack your palms, forehead on stacked palms, or take the arms all the way out in front of you with your forehead down. Again, if at any point something doesn't feel right to your knee, take it back to the previous option, okay? Also be very aware of your spine. Imagine your spine just straight on in front of you, not leaning into either side. And then I just want you to breathe. The hips can be very emotional. The first time I ever cried in a yoga class, it was during my teacher training, so it was 9 years ago, and we were in this pose, in a variation of this pose, and I started crying, and I thought at first it was a physical pain, but I realized it wasn't about 10 seconds in. We store a lot in the body. We know we store a lot in the neck and the shoulders, but we often don't realize how much we can store in other parts too, and that includes the hips. So just be with this. And if you're really struggling, it might mean that you need to do these a little more even. That's sort of the annoying nature of it. The things that we find hard in the stretches are probably the ones we need the most. Okay, one more breath here before you all mutiny and leave the Zoom meeting. Lift it all the way back up.
Come up onto your hand, shoulder distance stance, toe your right knee forward, curl the right toes under, and then all I want you to do is push it back into a three-legged dog. Just take a stretch. Whew. Okay. Now, you are going to take it to a downward dog. We did down dog last week or a couple weeks ago, just for a moment. We're not actually staying here. So just push it back, downward dog. So you're on all fours, basically. The knees are up and the bum is back. And we can just take a nice little stretch there and walk out that pooch, bending one knee and then the other. And push it all the way back into your downward dog. And all we do now is lean forward, taking the shoulders up in line with the wrists, and then take your right knee down behind your right wrist. So then right knee is coming to the floor, toe your right toes toward your left wrist, and we're just toeing them in that direction. We're not wrenching the foot in that direction, just as far as they'll go. Take the left knee down and then toe the left leg back as far as it will go. And again, we square the hips forward. And if this is enough, when you're on the hand shoulder distance facing forward, let it be enough. If you want to take it further, again, you're going to pull up through the core. It's not actually a core exercise, it's coming from your back, but you pull up through the core and you come up onto your fingertips, shoulders back, opening up through the chest. Okay. Start to walk it forward. And again, either come down onto your forearms or stack your fists, still on the forearms, but just stacking the fists forehead down. Stack the fists, palm, or stack the palms, forehead down, or arms all the way out in front, forehead down. But again, just avoid falling into your right buttock or into your left hip. It's very easy to sort of get oddly comfortable here. And I'm not saying I want you to be uncomfortable, but it is typically a slightly uncomfortable pose because it's really working the hips open. So again, square forward. And breathe. And one thing that can help here is if you imagine every inhale moving into the areas of tension. So the inhale moving into the hip, breaking up the tension in the hip, and the exhale releasing that broken up tension. So just breathe and visualize. Take another breath here. Okay. Lift the head, lift the heart. Walk yourself back up onto the hands. Curl your left toes under, take the left leg in such that you can get some traction on it. And kick that right leg back behind you. Okay. And then again, we take it to a downward dog. Breathe. And then exhale, roll forward, taking your knees down. And you're going to then take your bottom back towards your heels. Forehead down. Relax the arms. Come into a child's pose. And just sigh out in that child's pose. And sometimes it can feel quite nice to rock a little bit side to side in child. So just letting the forehead roll and the hips sway side to side. And sway it all the way back to center. And then lift the head, lift the heart. And let's just take that nice side stretch in child's pose. So I want you to take your hands out to the edges of your mat, or to the floor outside off the edges of your mat. If you don't have a mat, just wider than shoulder distance. And then take your left hand and left arm, swing it past your right. So it's like a cat stretching out its foreleg. And then let your head hang down between your arms like they're at a massage table. And shift the weight a little bit into your left hip. You should feel a lovely long stretch across the side of your torso. And take that left hand back wide and cross right over the left. Breathe deeply. Send the weight toward your right hip. And take it all the way back through center. Tuck the chin in toward your chest and round up toward a seated position. We're going to do one last little stretch. What I'd like you to do is just roll forward for a moment so that you can come up onto your hands, and then curl your toes under behind you and do the best you can to get the pinky toes even curled under there, okay? And don't worry if they don't. Some of them just won't. They might be too short. So then you curl there, and I just want you for a moment to sit back into your heels. And yeah, it should feel like that. It's going to be like, yeah. It's a fascia stretch. The fascia is the sheath around your muscle. So when people get older and they start to contract in, it's because the fascia is contracting. Just take one more breath here. We're not actually going to stay here long. Okay. Lean forward, give your sweet little tootsies a shake out. Okay. And then however you can, just start to make your way down onto your back. And you've always got two options here. You can either bend your knees, which is going to feel easier on the lower back if you're sensitive there, or you can take the legs and let them just flop and splay. Still stay. And once you come down, just relax your shoulders. Close the eyes. And take a few last deep inhales through the nose with exhales sighing or blowing the air out of the mouth. And then once you've sighed out a few times, just come back to the natural rhythm of your breath. And then notice your breath with a sense of awe. That this function happens without even a conscious thought from you. And then again, check in with your vibration, with your energy. How are you feeling now? Might be the same, it might be different. Whatever is what's right. It just is. And then if it resonates for you, set an intention for the type of energy in which you would like to live the rest of this day. So if you want to live the rest of this day playfully, kindly, if you want to live this day in forgiveness and peace, if something resonates for you, set the intention. Imagine setting that energy into the cells of your body. Say to yourself what it is, but in the form of I am. So, I am joy. I am peace. I am playful. I am compassion. I am compassionate. You can use it as a noun or an adjective or both, whatever serves you. And then take the awareness bring it to your breath again. Deepen the breath. Draw some movement back into your fingers and your toes. And then slowly roll to one side. And gently bring yourself all the way back up to seated. And take your hands into prayer in front of your heart. Gently bow, honoring your body, your light, your practice, and this earth. And thank you all so much for being here this evening. I'm so happy that it held up. The hotspot on the 4G held up. Okay. Yeah, like I said, I think the partnership is going to try to put it online. I will send it to them this evening, and it's so nice to be practicing with all of you, even though I don't think I know any of you in person, but I think, again, well, I obviously am a little hippie in this way. I believe in that shared energy. So thank you all so much, and have an amazing rest of your day, and see you next week, hopefully. Bye.